is going on, fellow Seinfeld podcast lovers? It is Reagan and Ryan with the continuation of our podcast about nothing. Probably the 5th most viewed thing on our YouTube channel.
Science checks out.
Yeah, it's blowing up right now with at least double-digit people watching it.
Which
currently.
is insane.
That is pretty wild. So we're going to be continuing it today, getting into Season 3, getting into some better episodes. 1 and 2 are definitely rougher, and now we're kind of getting to where the show's really hitting its stride. A lot of the characters that we know and love are making their appearances. We're kind of learning some backstories of things that we're going to go over. We've got some things that don't add up. Since we were long-time viewers of the show, we're going to maybe poke some holes.
Right.
In the Seinfeld lore or logic.
Some notes. We're going to have some notes about nothing.
Taking notes. It's always good. And so, Rain, where do we want to begin with this episode? We're kind of covering the first 5 here, right?
5 episodes. We got the notes, the truth, the pen, the dog, and the library. Solid group of episodes. Very solid.
Yes. Right off the gate, right off the bat, whatever. Least favorite's probably the dog.
Yep.
And actually, after rewatching it, though, pretty good episode. I really just can't stand the dog.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's really annoying, having the constant barking and them yelling at it. But other than that, good stuff.
Yeah, it was. We learned that it was apparently done by a voiceover impressionist rather than an actual animal or just a recording.
Right.
Which is weird, but makes sense. I mean, why would you train a dog to do all these things?
Yeah, give a human a job. Stop giving all these dogs jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Come on, get
what's up with this wage gap stuff?
Don't get me started. Yeah, I don't know. That's really the only episode that wasn't that great. But even then, it's super relatable. Everything they're saying about the movies.
Yeah, going to the theater was a big thing.
Yeah, they had so many great lines there. When George and Jerry were talking back and forth, and they were talking about how George is like, really have nothing interesting to say anymore. Like, I can't think of anything I want to say. I'm like, yeah, I relate to that. And then he's like, yeah, but I can always read the sports section, you know, no matter how depressed I am. I can always read sports. It's like, yeah, I can read the sports section if my head was on fire. I'm like, yeah, that's odd. That's
how it is.
There's literally nothing to stopping me on this planet from getting interested in sports.
I love sports too. That's what I had the problem with today. I think, sorry to get off tangent from Seinfeld, but real quick, like that line reminded me perfectly of what I went through today.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people I didn't know. Everyone's real nice, and I guess during downtimes everybody wants to talk. Mm-hmm. And I have nothing to say. I don't care what they have to say. It's all the same conversation. So what do you do? Where are you from? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's cool. It's always the answer.
Always.
I want someone to be like, that's kind of lame, man.
Yeah.
You got a better answer than that?
Yeah, like you're from
honest with me.
You're from Cleveland? Like, you know.
What major are you? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of that. And
so you work with live,
And it motivated me to work harder so I didn't have to talk to people.
That's good.
Which actually paid off in the long run because my bosses were like, you did a great job today. And I go, yeah. And I didn't have meaningless conversation either. It was perfect. And a couple of times I did get caught in it because there was just downtime. Yeah, it was unavoidable. And this guy starts asking me all these questions. And I was like, yeah, man, like, yeah, I gave him the shortest answer I could. And I was like, what about you? What do you do? What's like, I just gave him like 3 questions in a row. And I was like, let this fucker talk about himself for however long he wants to. And of course he did. And I could not be less interested in any of these conversations. And then out of nowhere, they start talking about James Harden and like the trade and stuff. And I'm like, well, I read this and I read that, and they're like, where did you hear that? And it just
like rap god just like coming out of the chair,
yeah.
And they're just like, okay, dude, all right.
Well, and that's the thing. Like we all got excited, and then as soon as they stopped talking about it, I was like, oh, back to work.
All right, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so definitely sports is the whole point of that story. But yeah,
it's a good story. Story.
But it brings me to it does get to that point, dude. There's only so many like get to know you conversations, especially if you know you're not going to see this person again. Why do I even need to bother hearing your life story?
Yeah, there's no point. I won't remember it. I won't remember your name. Come on,
I don't remember any of the names of the people.
We're just here to get through this event. That's all we're here for. That's my attitude at every wedding.
Yep.
Anyway.
Pretty much.
Anyway.
We're Uncle Ned's kids.
Oh, right.
But yes, back to the movie stuff.
Yeah.
I did agree with you there, though. Like, the whole, like, when I get what they're saying, and I also, this kind of ties into why like a movie's not really a good date scenario because you can't talk to the person. And it's like, why does somebody sitting next to you make the movie better? You can't talk to them.
Yeah, but it does.
But it does make it better.
It's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
Another line that comes back to the whole thing you were talking about with helping out today is they're on the plane, right? And he's all in Jerry's face, the old man, and he's like, hey, do you have any pets? And like Jerry's like, yeah, just my next door neighbor. Doesn't he's like, well, I've had, and it's like that happens all the time, dude. So someone will ask me a question, I will give them a stupid answer that bars other questions to be asked, but you're not paying attention. You just want to talk about yourself. And
exactly.
And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. Yeah. It's so accurate. That's all the time. So accurate.
I go out of my way to give those answers.
Those sarcastic,
yes,
like wild answers that don't make any sense, and no one asks about them.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I can't think of a good example. The only example I can think of right now is I remember being somewhere. You've probably heard this story a million times, so I'm sorry, but I remember being at like an event. There was a concession stand, and they're selling candy, and I like bought a bag of M&Ms, and for some reason the chick selling the candy wanted to talk to me about M&Ms, and she goes, "Oh my God, you love M&Ms?" Blah blah. I go, "Oh yeah, they're the best." And she goes, "I know, it's so simple, but it's great." I go, "I know. Like, thank God my dad invented them." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, like my dad invented M&Ms. I can't get enough of them." I'm like, "That's the only reason why I love my dad," or something. Like, just something so stupid, and she bought it the whole way.
Wow, really?
And then I just left. I didn't tell her that I was joking or lying or anything. And so this chick just thinks that my dad invented M&Ms.
There's no way she's that dumb.
It was pretty bad, dude. It was bad, and I do that all the time. I give ridiculous answers. Most of the time it doesn't stick, but it's kind of the point now where they get so ridiculous that people are like,
well, money, that's,
yeah, good one.
Are you going to be like special one day or something? It's like, I am special. I'm the chosen one. You said
I'm the boy who lived.
Yeah, you said at a Harry Potter bar, which is amazing.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, really like those lines.
Good lines.
Hate the dog. Really annoying.
Yes.
Kramer doesn't have a lot to do in the episode either, but what he does have always spurs some interesting conversations because he's breaking up with that chick who we never see is also weird. But we never see her, and they're always he breaks up with her, and Jerry and Elaine are like, she says like one of the most awesome answers I've ever heard, which is, if you could see what her personality looks like, it would be like the elephant man at the exhibit at the zoo. Wow, what a dagger. And then Jerry follows it with, I can't believe no one's tried to kill her yet.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Incredible. And then, of course, she gets back together with Kramer, and they have to sort of eat their words, and like, oh, yeah, y'all are great together, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then they bring up again, and they're like, oh, wow, I thought y'all were going to make it.
Thought she was the one.
And, yeah, I don't know, just, it's funny, hence it's true. Speaking of true, we got the truth.
The truth.
Which also, like,
yes,
I feel like plays off of that same concept of, like, do not tell the people the truth.
Right.
Which is so accurate because
they can't handle the truth.
No,
Jack Nicholson said that.
Exactly. Great movie. I don't know what movie that is, but
A Few Good Men.
There we go. Nice. Anyway, the truth. Got a couple of like really some of my favorite lines in the whole show. Is like
George is on point this whole episode.
Yeah, dude, he's on fire. He's just spitting bars left and right. Like no one can handle him, and. This like totally pretentious, weird-looking girl he's dating is wearing a Japanese robe thing, dress. Yeah. Has the chopsticks in her hair, which is a great line because she's like, "You didn't mention the chopsticks. Do you like the chopsticks?" She's like, "Well, I personally prefer a fork."
But they look good. Yeah.
So stupid. And then we can never say
papier-mâché.
Papier-mâché is like, what is papier-mâché? It's like a paper-mâché hat. It's like, what if it rains? Just dogging on her the entire time.
Any money in it?
It's like, what is the line she says? She says like, whoso knows only of Poppin'Dos and Mumbo Jumbos or whatever.
I think that's it.
Thomas Carlyle. And like George is just like eating his food, just like, Tommy C. Which is one of my favorite things ever because I definitely interject that into conversations I have with people where they're like, yeah, man, I've been learning how to like, save money recently from Jameis Feinstein or whatever, and I'm like, Jimmy Fi or whatever. I'll just repeat the name of the person as if I know it.
Dave Ram!
And usually it works because people are not listening to you.
Nope.
Which is pretty much the gist of, I guess, this episode of the podcast is if you're talking, no one's listening to you.
Correct. Which is why we do a podcast so no one can listen.
Right, yeah. You can see that by the views. Boom, roasted. Ourselves.
Is there a barista in here? Because this roast just got dark.
Damn, dude. Shut the show down.
But okay, on the truth. Prime example though, we talk about how people always claim they want the truth, they don't want to be lied to, but we always in society tell these white lies to make people feel better and not hurt their feelings.
Right.
And she begs him to tell the truth, and he breaks, does it, and he just shits on her, and she can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And again though, she asked for the truth.
For the truth. So
And
what do
then-
you do in that situation?
And he feels relieved. He's like, she asked for the truth, told her the truth, relationship's over, great. Finds out she's in a mental institution, now he doesn't feel so great.
Right.
And then he has to backtrack and do all this stuff. And then Elaine brings up the good point of, well, what if someone told you the truth? And he's like, what? What could they say? And it's like, what do you mean, what could they say?
Dude, there's so much.
He's a short, stocky, bald man, glasses, mean, selfish, cheap.
And she goes with cheap, and he's like, oh, I was spending when I was working, maybe. He's like, yeah, limos, Knicks games, yeah, you name it.
So.
One of my favorite other lines is when they go to the mental institution, he's like, yeah, I'd love to be in a place like this. You can wear slippers all day, family come and visit you, pity you. Pity's overrated. Great line.
Pity's underrated.
Underrated, I'm sorry. Pity's underrated.
Yes. Okay, I do have notes on every episode, so before we skip to more episodes, I do want to bring up a few things. Kramer mentions that he doesn't pay taxes, and then Jerry goes, well, it's easy when you have no income.
Mm-hmm.
And this theme with Kramer comes up kind of throughout the show.
Right.
And I know that's part of the humor, that's part of the fun, but I really, really would love some backstory on how Kramer is able to do this. How can he afford the same apartment a successful comedian lives in?
Right. In
New York City.
Yeah, super expensive area to live.
Right. Now, granted, it's not like Jerry's living at the Ritz. It's not like the greatest apartment ever.
It's a
but still,
one-bedroom, one-bath.
New York City apartment. He's an active working comedian on the Tonight Show. Possibly has his own TV show. How is Kramer able to live there? I wish we had more insight on how he does it and how he's able to live.
I always assume that it's just Kramer being Kramer. As we see throughout the show, you know, he just gets women willy-nilly. He gets money willy-nilly. He gets in these Ponzi schemes, like just these weird things like selling the raincoats or, you know, trading.
He invested on the non-fat yogurt.
Investing on non-fat yogurt, the cologne, you know, being a model or whatever, being a Calvin Klein ad. Just, I assume he's doing stuff like that, but they do never really explain it.
Right.
And they reference it from the get-go. He does not have a job.
Right.
And he works at the bagel stand for like one episode, for one day, and then goes
back
on
on strike after 12 years.
After 12 years. Where do you think the other guys are? I think they got another job.
Man, what makes you wonder what it was all for? All right, so the other thing too, in the truth, this is the first time we hear the "it's not you, it's me" routine, which comes back up in the Lip Reader,
right,
and maybe another episode or two. And he gives her the truth that she's pretentious. We also learn, as the first time we hear George's full name, George Louis Costanza. And then Kramer has a windshield coffee table. I feel like this is one of the first exposures to Kramer's obsession with coffee tables.
Yeah, nice.
It's kind of like the first, like sighting of that, because coffee tables come up quite a bit with Kramer throughout the show.
Right.
Now, there is a stretch of episodes where it's most prevalent because he's getting his coffee table book about coffee tables published by Pendant Publishing.
Tina loves the couch.
Apparently, Bob Sacamano had shock therapy for the first time, and wait, what? Oh yeah, so yeah, he has like shock therapy, and I can't remember. There was more to that, but it was just a Bob Sacamano reference.
Yeah, we always hear something weird about Bob Sacamano.
Never get to meet him though. And then the poets are having a poetry reading at the burnt down building by the docks. It's supposed to be good. That happens in this.
He says it so negatively. like George does, and then he's like, "Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good." Like, what about that is supposed to be good?
Doesn't sound good.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we can move on to the note. Great episode.
Yeah, this is the first episode of the season. We're kind of going out of order here, but
We are.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can watch them. So the note has not aged well.
No, dude. It's very...
Big homophobic vibes.
Yeah, dude. We almost didn't watch it.
I almost had turned it off.
Yeah.
Because secretly, I want to be gay. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
The note's got some good stuff. I mean, again, it is homophobic, but I do kind of like. I mean, I don't know how to say it because I really don't want to be homophobic, but George's like interaction with Raymond is hilarious.
It is.
We both assume that they're straight men, but a lot of the stuff that Raymond's doing to George is very uncomfortable for a straight man. Like,
yeah.
There's just no way around that. And he's like, I mean, literally the picture of him digging at his pants.
Yeah.
He's like pulling his pants down with a belt on, so he's like really pulling.
It's like, why would you... He's talking to Jerry about it. He's like, yeah, then I took my pants off. He's like, you took your pants off?
Well, because of my thigh.
He's like, yeah, it's a good looking man. Huh? He's like, how would I know? He's so offended by it. It's great. It's good stuff. It's just
I mean, he's a good guy and a nice fighter, but I don't like him. They're talking about Holyfield. They're talking about Evander Holyfield the whole time.
He's so weirded out for the rest of the episode. He just doesn't know how to act about it. But I mean, I kind of feel it. Like, why would you want to get a massage from a man, honestly? That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get a massage from a young woman either. I'd want her to be like 60 or 50. I'd want her to be old.
See, I'm more flexible there, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I want as little awkwardness there as possible. But I've also never gotten a massage, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've thought about it. The other thing, too, is in this episode, the female, I guess, physical therapist that Jerry deals with, I mean... Granted, his story is super random.
It is.
That sets her off about the kid getting abducted, but like, I definitely feel like she overreacts to the entire
She calls
episode.
the cops like, run, Jimmy, run, lock the door. Yeah, it's insane. All the plots are ridiculous, but some of them just really stick out as like, wow, why is that the reaction of this person? I don't live near here, you know. but it's a great episode because it centers around George and it's just him being super sketchy the entire time.
Yeah, what is Kramer doing in this episode? I didn't take notes on this one.
Oh man, you're killing me. I don't remember now.
I just know that he gets mad at them for screwing over the dentist friend.
He's got wife and kids and a lot of other stuff. And yeah, and then they go to. I love it when they go to the dentist at the end, and he's like, "I'm sorry that this happened to you or whatever. I'm not happy about this." And George is like, "I've never been happy." He's like, college maybe. Those were some good times. And then you start talking about that while he's being like sued for insurance fraud or whatever.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. It's good stuff. What other episode? We got the pen.
Okay, so far favorite episode of the season.
Yeah, so we got to give out, I guess, our temporary awards for the season so far.
Yes.
But honestly, it's not really that close. It's mine as well. It's a classic episode. The pen. They go to Florida. They meet Jerry's parents, or they get more interaction with Jerry's parents, which is phenomenal. We meet the Clompets. And Jack is amazing. I love his line where it's like, you came all the way down here for this. Why would you say that to someone?
Yeah, he's pooping on Jerry. He's pooping on Jerry's dad. Like, it's great.
I did not have a Coke. 1940. Writes him a check for 1945. There's like so many iconic things in the episode. It's like almost constant just...
The old white people, like, pettiness, interaction, and conversation throughout this episode is so on point.
It is, yeah.
Especially
and like,
the senior home living stuff.
The thermostat is like not like is on heat for some reason.
No, it's
like,
not even on.
Or it's not even on, but it's like that is
They're
so accurate, dude. Because I don't know, it's just. I mean, old people just like it hot. Like they don't want any air conditioner on at all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I guess they can't handle the cold.
No, and it makes sense. I think you lose like fat as you get older, so you need, if you less fat you have, the colder you get. But yeah, it's so funny that they're like fully clothed in Florida. You assume the summer because they're snorkeling, and they still don't have the AC on. It's just crazy. And then she always defends. It comes back later, but she defends the couch relentlessly. She's like, "Oh, I slept very fine. I don't know what you're talking about." Yeah, it's great.
It's a great couch. You defend this couch like I'm insulting a person.
Yeah, I thought it was in this episode, but it's
a different one.
Yeah, it's like way later. But no Kramer or George though, and it's the best episode so far, which is kind of wild because those are my two favorite characters.
Yes, but really, the only reason why this episode is up there is because of the parents, Clompus, and then Elaine at the end of the episode.
When she gets high on the things, yeah, honestly.
Her best performance, maybe.
Oh, dude.
At least her funniest moment.
Stella!
Probably easily her funniest moment in the entire series.
I don't know.
It's
I
up there.
really like it when she's on that airplane and she's just backing her seat into those guys' legs.
Vegetable lasagna,
yeah, just the whole vegetable lasagna thing. I really like that part, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely so far, it's her best moment.
Okay.
For sure.
Yes.
It's like, hello, Elaine, and she's just like making the stupidest face at her.
Stella!
And they're all just, everyone there is just so insane. Why would you tell Jerry, why do you need new material? And why would you tell Jerry's parents, this better be good because I'm missing Golden Girls for this?
And have cousin Jeffrey, who works for the Parks Department, to write Jerry's material.
Yeah.
And just the pettiness of the pit.
Yeah, works for the Parks Department. Why would he want that? Why would he be funny?
And why is Uncle Leo reading letters that he's writing in the Parks Department? He's reading his work letters? How is that a thing?
Right.
Is Jeffrey making copies of the letters he writes and giving them to Uncle Leo? Like, I don't know.
That just reminded me. We gotta do some interesting things here.
Okay.
Stella never mentioned again.
Yeah.
So she assumed she died or they got divorced.
Right.
Because he's dating later.
Correct.
So it's just kind of weird.
And there's never a name drop anywhere?
They never talk about her ever again. The Pin, only episode George is not in.
Okay.
And apparently he threatened to quit because he was so upset he wasn't in the episode.
Right, and Kramer didn't have that same feelings.
No, he thinks it's the best episode and he's not even in it.
I thought Kramer thought a Chinese restaurant was the best episode.
Sorry, it's a Chinese restaurant, that's right. But I didn't see anything about him threatening to quit or whatever. But he's also not, even at the time, I don't want to say he was nearly as big of an actor because I'm pretty sure George has been in stuff before him, like major motion pictures.
Yeah, no, he had done some stuff. I think he had his own show too.
I'm trying to think, you're not going to know, but like when did Pretty Woman come out? Was that before this? Because I remember he's like in that movie. And
I think Pretty Woman is late 80s, yeah.
Because he like hits, what's her name? Like
he hits Julia Roberts?
I'm pretty sure. He has like some scene where he's like either super aggressive to her or hits her. And I just remember that like being weird that it was George.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've probably only seen half the movie like a long time ago, but yeah, that's pretty wild. But yeah, and I think I fell asleep one night and I like woke up and resumed my Seinfeld DVD and it was on like a bonus thing. And it was like an interview with Jason Alexander and he was like, I guess talking about like a TV show that he was one of the leads in before Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
And it looked super weird. He had like a full head of hair and he just like, it looked like a really corny show, but yeah. It was weird. But yes, he had been doing some acting. He was 1990 is when Pretty Woman came out.
Okay, so...
Still before this, though.
Still before this, and he would have shot it way before this, probably. Like 2 years before this, probably.
Theoretically.
Theoretically is yes. Oh, man, there was something else I wanted to say about, I think it was the dog. Damn, I'm never going to remember. I hate it when I forget stuff, like, right in the middle.
Let's see. I pretty much like all the interactions with Jerry's parents, but one of my favorite ones, like, just how quick and casual he is, like, just on the spot. Like, I try to be that way when he's talking to his parents and she's like, his mom's like, he's an idealist. What are you looking for? I like looking, that's the point. Well, how long can you look? I'm going for the record.
Yeah. Like, such a snarky remark to just, leave me alone, because they just hound him from the second he walks in until he leaves. He's like, oh, take your jacket off. Oh, you're hot? Oh, you're going to the ocean? Oh, there's water out there.
What's there to see down there? What's so great up here?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's ridiculous. But
what? Stop being so worried about how you look.
That's what it is. And the dog, they talk about the vomiting.
Yes, yeah, I got it written down.
And it's like, it's referenced later in the show on the dinner party episode where they're talking about he vomited in June 29th twice. Once in 1980, once in like 1972 or something. He goes a long period of time without vomiting. Yeah. But Elaine has only lived in New York since 1986.
Right.
So that's like miscalculation there. So because she's seen him vomit.
Right. Because she talks about it. Have you ever seen him throw up? They both like imitate him throwing up.
Right.
But yet he's only done it 2 to 3 times in almost a 20-year span.
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't there for the first few, and the one at the dinner party was well after this episode.
Right.
So yes, the throw up timeline does not add up.
No, dude.
Big hole in the story.
Huge
I can't believe they would do that.
I can't wait until we get to the. I want to see if anyone picked up on it. We've talked about it before, but the pick or whatever, the pick episode.
What about the pick episode?
There's a lady that George like interacts with that is also his date in another episode and plays a completely different role.
Oh, the scrunchy girl?
Yeah.
The audible. Oh, my boyfriend's a real watch freak. Oh, that's
No. I'm talking about the one that wants him to drape himself in velvet and sucks on the pick or whatever.
Okay, and she's in.
She's also in the episode The Pick.
Oh, she's the boss.
Yes.
Isn't she the one that has him fired from the bra salesman job?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And I can't remember which one of those comes first, but that'll be interesting to see if like it's on IMDb or whatever. But
I think the bra salesman job comes first.
Okay.
I think so.
Interesting. I guess it could conceivably happen, but really unlikely. No, she would never forget that. So it's like, I don't know. That's weird. Our 5th episode, the library.
Library, also probably the next best episode after the pen.
I thought I liked it more than the pen, but I can't. It's got George and George is like front and center again, and Kramer's in it, which is great. And Kramer's doing Kramer things. Yes. He's dissecting the librarian immediately. She's like, she needs a little love, needs a little compassion, needs a little Kramer. And then gets her in the same day, and she's not interested. He's like, what does a guy got to do to get a library card around here? As if that would ever work. It's ridiculous.
And she looks disgusted when he says it.
He's like, yeah, what? Yeah, I'm sorry.
You pig. And then, later she's sneaking into his apartment. He's crying at her poetry, and Elaine turns it in to her publisher, and they're like,
not good. Yeah, not good. Nah, dude, he wanted to smash. That's why he thought it was so good.
Also, shout out to Bookman for early top side character.
Yeah, he's definitely. I would say.
There. Now, do Jerry's parents and Clompus count as side characters?
Yeah,
and Mumbo Jumbos.
I think everyone but the 4.
Yeah, I think I ask you this every time, but always got to confirm. And honestly, even though he is funny, the drunk guy from The Dog might be early least favorite side character.
True. Yeah, he's a bit annoying, honestly.
Yes. Well, especially with the dog barking while he's talking at the end there too. I can't stand it.
It just goes on for too long.
But yes, back to the library. Bookman, top side character. I love Kramer's line about a library cop named Bookman. It's like an ice cream guy named Cone.
That comparison of all the things you could have said is
genius.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And we do get confirmation that Elaine has worked at Pendant Publishing basically the whole time.
Yep.
We get to see Lippman. It's a different Lippman.
Played by another actor. Only time he's ever played by anybody but the main guy with glasses.
Yep. And I mean, I think it was a good switch. I mean, the other guy, he, I guess, has half a funny moment by going, like, answering her question, but not really giving her a direct answer.
Did you get that thing? He's like, yes.
I did.
Yes, I did.
Didn't say what he thought about it. Yeah, he just leaves. Love that. And then Elaine has a line that, I don't even know what to think about this line, but she, like, talks about how boys are disgusting for doing wedgies. And Jerry's like, well, what do girls do? And she's like, well, we just tease someone so they develop an eating disorder. And it's like, that's the goal? That's your goal of teasing? You're like, oh, man, I really hope they get that eating disorder. Like, okay, now I can stop teasing
psychologically torment them?
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's so much better. Like, I don't know.
It's a good line. I appreciate it.
That's a good line.
I think it's funny.
Yeah. So,
and just the ridiculousness of the plot of, like, going all the way back to, like, 1972 to try to remember when you check the library book out and it has something to do with this girl, and then she's, like, horrible looking now.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I guess I have no memory.
He has all the details wrong. He's got her dress color wrong, her gum wrong, the book wrong.
Yeah, that was so funny. And he just leaves her. He's like, it was George, and he just leaves her there. Yeah. Thanks for meeting up with me. I'll see. Like,
since high school, after 20 years, appreciate it.
It's good stuff.
Got what I needed. Well, so far, good stuff. But early predictions. What are we thinking here for the early predictions?
Best episode, I'm gonna give it to The Pen.
Okay.
No contest. Worst episode, I'm gonna give it to The Dog. It's got to be that. Library's, really good.
Yeah.
But
close second for best episode.
Close second. MVP. I mean, I want to give it to Elaine so far.
Okay.
She's got a couple of good one-liners in there. You know, the eating disorder, as we discussed.
Yes.
She's also yelling at the top of her lungs, Stella, which always helps.
Yes.
But she's not going to win it because I think George is going to have like more solid episodes as the season goes on. So.
Yeah, I mean, George is a really big part of the first 2 episodes. And
Right.
then
He's great in the library.
And then he's obviously not in the pen. He doesn't do a ton in the dog.
No.
Aside from him
I have
having
nothing to talk about.
with Elaine, yeah.
Which is a nightmare.
And then I love how she's like, we had to get together. I had to talk about how we have nothing to talk about. So.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, favorite line. I mean, her yelling Stella is great. I love Jack Thomas's little line about he spent more hours on the job than Ronald Reagan.
Reagan.
Like, take the pen, stop. Ah! And you came all the way down here for this, for sure. I love Jerry's line about I'm going for the record.
Yep.
There's honestly, like, there's so many you could pick. I'm going to go Stella. I'm going to go her yelling Stella.
Stella!
Yeah, it's kind of a cop-out, but because she says it multiple times, but I still love it. Favorite side character? I'm going with Mr. Bookman.
Of course.
Jerry's parents are great.
They're up there.
But his rant about, like, pee-pees and wee-wees is like, you're a comedian, right? You like making people laugh? Well, you think this is funny? He just keeps turning around super quick. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna maybe... No, I'm going to still give Elaine the favorite line. But I'm going to say I like his line about... it's like... I remember the librarian was a much older woman. We didn't know anything about her private life. We didn't want to know anything about her private life.
She didn't have a private life.
Yeah, it's so good. He's so every time he's on screen, I'm like, yes, more.
Yeah.
And then least favorite side character, I'm going with the dog guy. I liked how he called people mutts on the plane and then gave the dirtiest look ever to the woman next to him. But him and his dog are kind of annoying for the rest of the episode.
They are.
Obscure reference. I don't know. It's Tommy C. I'm gonna go Tommy C.
Tommy C.
Because I say that all the time.
Reference, yes.
I didn't catch any Superman references.
Nope. Didn't catch any either.
I don't know. There's none that really stick out so far. And then Jerry's best observation. I don't know. Probably everything with Florida.
Yeah, it was Florida. There was another one.
Everything about they want to make it hotter all the time, even though they're in Florida already. He's talking about the old people.
Yeah, he's like, you can put them on the sun and they'd have a rag on their head going, trying to work up a sweat here.
Or,
but he had another one.
I would go with the one where he's talking about if aliens came to our planet and saw us picking up poop after another life form, they would know which one of us was in charge.
Exactly, yes, but he has another. Dude, I can't think of it.
There's so many. Like, it's tough.
I mean, it's not a proper observation, but when he's like yelling at his parents after like the 3rd fight with Klompas, and he's like, "What is going on in this community? Are you guys okay with behaving like this?" Like
The white shoes and the Muzak.
But
It's good stuff.
it is good stuff. But yeah, I can't think of my favorite obscure reference there. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff so far in these episodes. To be honest with you, the next episode coming up is the parking garage, and aside from the dog, it might be my next least favorite episode in this season, unless there's something else I'm forgetting about. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the one setting, but I am not a big fan of the parking garage episode coming up.
Right.
Again, it's still a good episode. I'll probably enjoy it, but yeah, I'm kind of
This is a fire season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm looking at our episodes we're coming up.
Oh, yeah.
These are all bangers.
They're all fantastic. Yeah, like to me, so I was correct. The parking garage is the next worst episode aside from the dog. And parking garage is still good and still better than the dog. And also, I love the tape. That's episode 8 coming up here. Love that episode. Especially, yeah, because like
That one is so weird.
it is so weird, and it kind of is weird how like
Into It Elaine is?
well, and how George and Elaine just a few episodes earlier have like
Nothing in common.
nothing in common, can't talk, and now like George is infatuated with her.
Yeah. I guess just that message, I guess, is enough.
Right, and also, but she kind of goes along with it too. Like she's messing with him. She lets him give her a ride home, and all that good stuff.
So what is your best episode so far, Penn?
Yeah, probably the pen. Like worst episode, dog. Same thing on the side characters, like Bookman. Don't like Farfel's owner, whatever his name is. And then
Favorite line?
favorite line, yeah, I'm having a tough time with that one.
It really gets tough as we go on.
Yeah.
There's so much to cover.
Well, and also I've been making notes about the episodes, and I've been kind of skimping on my, I guess, notes for the categories. I keep forgetting about that. But yeah, and then obscure reference, I can't think of anything either. So I'm going to have to work on my favorite line and obscure reference. I'll have to figure those out. But
You go with Tommy C for now.
yes.
Yes and no? Not comfortable with it? It's alright.
Maybe maybe this isn't Jerry's observation, but George's observation about pity.
Pity over or underrated?
Pity's underrated, yeah.
That is a good one.
So, anyway, yeah, good stuff so far. It's only going to get better, and we're only, like a fourth of a way through this season, so we got a few more reviews of it coming up, so we'll keep you updated on what's happening, and I love the nose job episode, too, that's coming up, and
it's really like that thing.
It's kind of the beginning of Kramer ruining everything, like of him pointing something out that he really shouldn't, but he's Kramer, and he just does that.
And it works out for everyone but him, basically.
Yeah. Ooh, whoops. But yes, so a lot of great stuff to come. Do you have any other, I guess, early thoughts on season 3?
I mean, it's definitely going to be the best season so far, so.
Oh, easily.
But I would say it's going to get interesting from here on out, where we rank everything.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time picking my MVP because it's hard not to pick George, but he hasn't been super active the last couple episodes. So it's, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe I'm kind of leaning towards Jerry just because of, I'm only leaning towards Jerry because of the pen though, probably.
Yeah, because of all of his observations and
just
his attitude towards his parents.
Yeah, just all of that.
Because it's so relatable.
Yeah. All of that stuck with me right now. And I guess and he was good in the dog too.
Mm-hmm.
But actually he was good in the library, so that's probably why. These last 3 episodes, Jerry's been pretty strong. So I might go with Jerry right now for my front runner for MVP. Because George was heavy on the first 2, and I feel like Jerry's been pretty strong in the last 3.
Gotcha.
With moments from Elaine and George. But Kramer has actually been noticeably quiet.
Yeah, like you said, he's about to be like the ultimate just screw up everybody's lives device throughout the rest of the show.
Yes. Oh yeah, because he's the one running the camera on the tape too.
Yeah, ruins the camera on the tape, ruins the girl's nose job, invites the guy from The Stranded. Like every episode, he just screws everybody up.
I think he ruins George and Elaine's IQ test in the cafe.
Yep.
Episode 7. It's good.
It's good stuff.
It's good. All right. Well, you Seinfeld loyalists and Decent Show loyalists, make sure you keep staying tuned with all of our updates on Seinfeld. We're going to keep reviewing the episodes and the seasons as we consume them. I noticed you guys are really eating up those views, liking and commenting and subscribing, because I know you're like us. You're binge watching this new sitcom called Seinfeld right now.
30 years old.
Yeah, you're just getting into it, and that's great. So, for Reagan, I'm Ryan. Take it easy.